What's up, everybody? I'm Tyler.
And I'm Watts, and we just got back from the Rift mountain bike race in Iceland.
It is a 5-day stage race in and around what's probably the only tree forest in all of Iceland.
And mentally, I'm still there. You think I want to be here?
Right. It is absolutely an instant classic, truly epic.
And I very much intend to go back.
Yeah, me too. In this video, we just want to give you a little stage-by-stage preview to get you just as stoked on it as we were. So let's get started with our arrival and stage 1.
Stage 1 was a pretty perfect appetizer for the race and gave us a taste of the things to come.
It was the shortest stage, which was a great way to get the legs moving.
But it still had a huge climb early on that led us straight into some really killer flow trail.
Which then led us to the insane Lauf Trail, a brutally rough cut, steeply benched bunch of just sheep trail turned single track that runs right alongside a stream that somehow just all worked.
And then over some super chunky, awesome sections with exposed slick rock.
Which leads straight into the forest for some proper wooded single track complete with wooden features.
It really had some of everything.
Stage 2 started out with another big climb back up to the bike park.
But it was a different climb this time that was actually super enjoyable.
It was definitely a much more interesting climb, and then we got to experience a completely different side of the bike park.
It was a pretty wild mix. There were elements of flow, but a lot of surprise little drops and twists, tons of fun.
Yeah, and somehow, just like the Lauf Trail, it all just kind of worked.
Then we got back into the slick rock, some side cut single track, and back into the forest for round 2.
Yeah, which is good because it's all so fun, and I'm glad we got to do it again. It's definitely, all this is just some of the most interesting trail I've ever ridden.
Absolutely. Here's a look at round 2.
For stage 3, the fog rolled in, and we got on the bus to shuttle to Siglufjord, and which was nice because we got a bunch of great sightseeing along the way.
This was not only the longest stage, it also had the most climbing, with a lot of hike-a-bike, which in a race like this, I don't mind.
Well, it's not my favorite thing, but oddly enough, like, this ended up being most people's favorite stage of the entire race.
Which is my line.
Was it? No, it's not. It was. I think this is where Lauf's crew did a phenomenal job of setting the tone, because as tough as it was, everybody really knew what they were getting into, and so it might have been hard, but I don't think people's spirits were crushed.
And I would say that it was probably most people's favorite stage.
Absolutely, and I think that really speaks volumes to not just the quality of the trail, but just the epic scenery.
I mean, this was definitely the foggiest day we had, and even still, it was wildly beautiful.
And riding above the clouds.
And then back into them.
And across the glacier.
And ripping down chunky single track for so long that we had to stop and rest our hands.
Yeah, stage 3 was the queen stage indeed.
Why am I sliding out so much?
Because you're locking up your rear wheel.
So how do I not lock it up?
Don't pull the lever too hard.
This was the stage I was looking forward to the most.
Because it ended in Husavik, yeah?
Yeah.
Ding dong?
Ding dong. Play it!
Everything else was pretty cool leading up to the finish too.
Yeah, the start that day wound through some awesome geothermal areas and yet even another type of terrain than the days before.
Yeah, and then we rode through some lava fields, which was pretty special on its own.
Man, that ribbon of road through the cracked earth, that was just wild. I mean, this is one of those races where you just want to stop every 15 minutes and take your camera out.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to just I feel bad for the people that had to just put their head down. I mean, I even enjoyed just the rolling double track through the fields and the Icelandic high country and back country. It just flowed so fast, and oddly, it kind of felt like we were ripping downhill most of the day. There was a bit of a road stretch to connect it all, which wasn't super fun, but...
Then we got back at some trees and this awesomely long string of single track for that truly epic approach into Husavik. Yep, here's a look at stage 4.
Stage 5 was honestly kind of a blur for me. I do remember that there was a lot of pre-race energy at the start line.
Oh man, it was rad. The techno was blasting, racers were dancing.
Yeah, I mean, those Icelanders do love their techno.
Man, old school techno. This time we rode across the land bridge to the other side of the bay from other days.
Yeah, and then there was that really long, really steep climb just into the fog.
Man, it was still beautiful, just that moss.
Yeah, it was all crazy. And then, you know, fortunately that climb was, like, the climb was so long that it ended at the first aid station. So it gives you kind of an idea of how that day started.
But even after that climb, after that first aid station, it just kept going and going into some rad double track that would just rise and fall, twist and turn.
Yeah. Oh, and then the swamps. Like, who knew Iceland had swamps?
With that weird lumpy ground. It was more rideable than they hinted.
I think it was just this constant variety that made me feel way fresher than I should have after 4 big days on the bike, but I just kept having fun. Like, nothing about this race was boring.
And then you flatted on that troll bridge, man. Right after you literally said, film me coming over this.
Yeah, I sent it pretty hard.
I think you have a flat. Fortunately, this is also a point where the course looped back on itself before splitting off to the finish.
Yeah, so we called it after fiddling with tubes in the freezing wind and fog because burgers, beer, and hot springs were waiting for us at the finish.
True, but it's a good reason for us to come back next year because the part of the course we skipped looked fun.
It did, for sure. Here's a look at the rest of stage 5, the lagoon after party, and then the after party. If you're looking for an incredible mountain bike experience, we cannot recommend the Rift MTB Stage Race enough.
Whether you come to race it or whether you come to ride it like we did, it's really something special.
And the Lauf crew just had the logistics nailed. It was such a smooth experience. Just when you go click purchase, just buy the all-inclusive packages and literally all you do is show up and go ride.
I have to admit, that's 100% the way to do it and totally worth doing. I couldn't have done it.
Yeah, so next year?
For sure next year.